Hey guys, welcome back to PETV. That is short for Political Entertainment Television, where we talk about politics, entertainment, or both in general. And so, we are going to react to Black Conservative Perspectives video of FBI Charlie Kirk assassin manhunt intensifies after finding trans and Antifa ideology on weapon. This is basically the same video about the the quartering version of the side of the conversation. So, without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get started.
I'm just flesh and bone, but more importantly, I'm a soul. And that soul is accountable to one being. I mean, I've had an unbelievably blessed life. Been doing this now, it'll be 12 years on June 5th.
Such a young man to do it.
So young.
Yeah, so praise God. I mean, I've been all across the world. I've met with world leaders. I've flown in Air Force One, got to know a president. I have an amazing family. The podcast, Turning Point USA, all that stuff. And so you experience that and you're like, what actually matters? What matters is your relationship with the divine, your relationship with your family, your kids, and maybe a close collection of friends, and your relationship with the truth.
How do you want to be remembered?
I mean, if I die,
Everything just goes away. How would you, if you could be associated with one thing, how would you want to be remembered?
I want to be remembered for courage for my faith. That would be the most important thing. The most important thing is my faith in my life.
This morning I can tell you that we have recovered what we believe is the weapon that was used in yesterday's shooting. It is a high-powered bolt-action rifle. That rifle was recovered in a wooded area where the shooter had fled. The FBI laboratory will be analyzing this weapon. Investigators have also collected footwear impression, a palm print, and forearm imprints for analysis. Now, I understand there are a lot of questions about motive. I assure you that all leads, tips are being fully investigated. As of this morning, we have received more than 130 tips. We thank the community for that. The FBI has brought every resource to bear, and we will continue to do so throughout the course of this investigation.
All right, guys, so we got to continue our coverage of the assassination of Charlie Kirk, okay? And we're going to continue to talk about the manhunt for the suspect, because there's more information that has come out that can give us some clues in regards to why this happened and the ideology behind the shooter. Now, we're going to get into it, again, because there's more information that has come out. And also, at some point, I am going to address directly the leftists who are celebrating this. But as of right now, I think that the main focus should be on finding this shooter, okay, and figuring out exactly why this happened, which we're getting some information about that, and going from there. However, I will say this, right, in the meantime, if I was a left-wing political commentator or influencer, I would be trying to turn down the temperature. I would be trying to turn down the temperature. But the unfortunate reality is that you do have people who do not realize where this stuff leads. That's the unfortunate reality. Again, I will go back to the assassination of the United CEO. I said at the time that you don't want to open Pandora's box where you start to normalize assassination culture, which is what is happening in this country. And leftists were celebrating it, just like they're celebrating this. And it's one of those things where once you open up Pandora's box, it is hard to fix this problem. And you have a lot of leftists right now who clearly are not thinking about the possible ramifications of openly celebrating a political assassination, while at the same time trying to justify it, claiming that, well, he said things that we don't like, right?
And honestly, the fact that if the left is going to not even acknowledge the ramifications of this assassination, they are going to be in for a rude awakening. And I hope that the left gets so screwed in the freaking vagina that they never recover. never win elections, no more political power, nothing. Lose everything. Lose everything. I do not care. They don't deserve power anymore.
That's what I'm hearing. And again, I'm going to address it more directly in another video. But my whole point is that these people are clearly not thinking about, well, what happens when my arguments, my justification of what happened to Charlie Kirk, because that's what they're doing. They're trying to justify it. What happens when somebody who disagrees with me starts thinking the same way that I think about what happened to Charlie Kirk? What happens? What type of world does that create? Clearly, people are not thinking straight right now. On the left, a lot of these people on the left are not thinking straight.
They never could think.
So, again, that's another video, maybe for later today, maybe for tomorrow. But right now, again, let's focus on the FBI manhunt because they had two persons of interest. They're calling them persons of interest now, not suspects, that they released. But apparently they have some information on the person they're actually after. And I want to go ahead and react to the FBI press conference that they had early this morning. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Just to recap yesterday's events, at around 12:20 p.m., political influencer Charlie Kirk was at Utah Valley University participating in a student-sponsored event with Turning Point USA. Charlie was shot at that event. He was transported to a local hospital where he later passed. Last night, his body was moved to the state office of the medical examiner. We will continue to facilitate movements to get him home today and with his family. Yesterday, during the investigative process, we located a couple of persons of interest. We interviewed those individuals, and after releasing them and after clearing them of being suspects, they face scrutiny. They face threats. We asked the public to be patient with the investigative process. These individuals were not suspects. They were people of interest. We ask that you do not impose into those people and that investigative process.
Yeah, man, I got questions about why were they persons of interest? Because, again, there were reports that at least one of the guys that they had detained said that he did it, right? Were they trying to serve as distractions, decoys? Which, again, it just blows my mind to think about the fact that there were people there as Charlie Kirk was bleeding out on stage that was celebrating. That's the crazy part about it. Like, that there were people there who thought that, oh, well, this is normal, this is fine, right? And who may or may not have been trying to obstruct, right? I actually believe, yeah, the first guy, the old guy that they detained, they actually charged him with obstruction. So he was trying to obstruct, which in and of itself is terrible. Absolutely terrible in real time. Now, again, they could have been a part of a larger operation. Again, this assassination seems more sophisticated than we previously thought. So, again, they could have been a part of it. I don't know. But, you know, again, I think there's a lot of questions about why these people were persons of interest in the first place.
Don't deserve that harassment for being subject to that.
I've been using BetterHelp since
Yeah, that is just insane. I do got questions too. I would honestly like to know when the investigation is done properly, where they can find the individual. I hope we get to see a full live video of this execution, because I will never receive closure until I see the life who took an innocent life away. Someone who murdered an innocent life over the fact that one did not support woke ideological views. Charlie Kirk did not deserve to die this soon. He had a huge, prosperous life to live. He had a life, a blessed life. Sorry. honestly, this is really boiling down to my bones, so I'm just going to continue.
I'd like to thank all the investigators that are involved in this. They have worked around the clock, all day yesterday, through the night last night. Investigators from the State Bureau of Investigations, from county, from city agencies, the university, our federal partners with the FBI, the ATF, and many others. Those are just a few of the people that we have involved in this. I'd like to thank all of them for their strong work. Through all that work last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time.
Yeah, so a lot of people wondering, like, why is it that the FBI is not releasing more information? Well, it's because they are confident that they can get the person, right? They don't need the media's help. They don't want leads or any type of information that will throw them off or that will be a waste of time. So they're actually pretty confident. The fact that they're not asking for help from the public or anything like that, and they're not releasing any type of real description of the shooter or anything like that, outside of the fact that apparently the shooter is college age. They're not saying the race. They're not saying the gender, as far as I know, which, again, is pretty interesting considering how people are assuming on X, specifically on Black Twitter, that the shooter was white, and they're essentially trying to make fun of Charlie Kirk, claiming that, you know, this was white on white violence or whatever. Again, that's part of the reason why I really don't want to make a dedicated video to the leftist response yet, because there's just so much nonsense and crazy stuff being said that it's probably better to wait until we get more information. That way it can be thoroughly addressed. But again, the rumors is that, well, Charlie Kirk got taken out by his own kind, right? This is what they're saying. He was so worried about black folks and he got taken out by his own people. And it's like, you don't know who did this. We have no clue who did this. Now, again, we all have clues about the ideology behind this. And we're going to get into it, but we don't know. And there are people who are already declaring that the suspect is white and you know, saying stuff that is not based on any type of facts that we currently have.
We're working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we are confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately.
Yeah, I think that I'm pretty confident they're going to catch the guy or the individual, right? I'm pretty confident they're going to do that. Last night I was watching a video of a guy who was an expert at this, and they were saying that it's going to be extremely hard, just considering the geography of a state like Utah. It's going to be extremely hard for this individual to leave Utah. In fact, if this individual tries to leave Utah, it's actually more likely they're going to be caught because of the infrastructure, how the roads work in Utah. It's going to be really hard for this individual to get away. It's not really a matter of if, it's a matter of when, right? The FBI catches this individual.
Yeah. I mean, when my dad called me this morning, it was a really interesting conversation. That like my dad mentioned that this person who shot Charlie said that this person probably got humiliated among one of Charlie's visits and wanted revenge. Petty revenge. That's at least what he said. So we don't entirely know the details, but if the FBI is so confident in this, well, the FBI better do a damn good job. Like, I am not kidding. Like, this is not. I don't even think confidence is an important factor here. I think what we need to know is that we need to, if they can do the job correctly and they find the guy, good. But until then,
And I'm hoping that if they get them, they get the individual alive, right? That way we can actually get some real justice administrated on our terms rather than on their terms. So, from what the FBI is saying right now, again, I have confidence that they're eventually going to catch the guy at some point. Just based off everything that I've been reading and watching, it seems as if this individual will be caught sooner rather than later, hopefully.
Last night I communicated with Erica. The family's devastated. As a commissioner of public safety, as a father, as a husband, I can only imagine what that family's going through. The heinous event that happened yesterday is not Utah. This is not what we're known for. Over the past several weeks, we've seen this state come together to help families in mourning, come together as a community to show what Utah is known for a state of character, of service, of camaraderie, of a neighboring feel. We will not stand for what happened yesterday. We are exhausting every lead. We have every officer invested in this, every investigator, every local agency. The outpouring of support from the law enforcement community has been astounding. We are investing everything we have into this, and we will catch this individual.
I hear you think you could take me on.
Yeah. I hope they catch this person. I hope this person gets caught and through a live feed, the death penalty is performed, because I want to document that moment. I want to document the very moment that the assassin got what it deserved. I want to see the Democrats fall. I want to see their pride get destroyed. Their egotistical narcissism get destroyed. Their hypocrisy get exposed. I want to see the Democrats lose so fucking much.
Having walked through the crime scene, through the hallways of this school, through the classrooms, I can't imagine what the people on scene felt as well. A horrific event where some of them barricaded in classrooms, some of them ran in fear.
Some of them celebrating as well too, unfortunately. So I think we get the gist of what the FBI is saying, what law enforcement is saying. Now, what I really want to talk about is the ammunition, okay, the weapon that was recovered of the suspect, and that is going to give us some insight. Is giving us some insight in regards to the motive behind this. So let's read here. Conservative political activist and author Charlie Kirk has died after being shot on stage during an event at Utah Valley University. He was going back and forth with a student about mass shootings involving transgender people when he was shot, according to the videos of the attack. Investigators found ammunition engraved with transgender and anti-fascist ideology inside the rifle, sources said. Justice Department officials cautioned that the investigation is still in its preliminary stages. Yeah, so this is a big deal. This is a huge deal. Because what this suggests is that this individual, at the very least, was a leftist. 100% was a leftist, and they were trying to send a message. They were trying to send a message specifically about the criticisms of woke ideology, including the trans movement, okay? And also on top of that, they expressed anti-fascist ideology, which means that this could have been, somebody that's a part of Antifa, right? Clearly, this was a far leftist, right? This was somebody that was radicalized. I mean, you have to be radicalized to do something like this. So I think that that's a given. But again, now we kind of have some direct evidence that, yeah, this was an act of left-wing extremism, right? And it was certainly politically motivated. Now, that doesn't mean that the individual was trans. It just means that at the very least, they sympathized with the trans movement, and they were probably a part of Antifa, right?
And I am just going to declare, the next time when June comes around, I am going to find pride flags, the trans flag, and burn it. I have a constitutional right to burn these flags. I am going to express my exact fiery passion against those two because of this. My constitutional right to burn those flags shall be exactly that. I don't even care if it's under legal terms, whatever the case may be. I am going to find a trans flag, the woke pride flag, and burn it. I am going to destroy it. I am going to show my exact fiery hatred.
But once again, now that we know, okay, that this was politically motivated, I mean, I think that it was a given from the beginning of all this, but now that we have like actual evidence, alleged evidence, that this was politically motivated, that this was likely a left-wing extremist, the question is, will Democrats and the mainstream liberal media take some responsibility for this?
No, they won't.
Will they come out and admit that they were wrong for, first and foremost, coddling people with this type of extremist ideology that they refuse to acknowledge, right? They refuse to acknowledge that this exists, even though it is very clear. They want to deflect every single conversation about the clear issue that we have in this country with left-wing political violence. They want to deflect that, and they want to talk about everything else. Well,
we all know the mainstream liberal media will never take accountability for it. Honestly, I think Trump should get the military and just stage a full-on I don't know what it exactly is, but have just a bunch of the military, the agents, or whatever it's called, just show up at MSNBC, CNN, and just completely force them to apologize and actually admit it forcefully. I'm done playing.
Excluding the fact that there is no dispute about where a vast majority of the political violence in this country is coming from. There's no dispute. Especially over the past 5 years, there has been no right-wing BLM where you had billions of dollars in property damage across the country.
You don't ever see conservatives going around committing BLM riots or transgender mass shootings or children indoctrination, telling kids they're born in the wrong bodies, or thinking that they need puberty blockers or surgeries, chemical castrations, or thinking boys should be in girls' sports, bathrooms, locker rooms, etc. No, you don't see any of that through the conservative Republican side. You don't see that. But you do see it on the far left, the woke left. Honestly, what in the shit, bro?
Dozens of people lost their lives as a result.
Mm-hmm.
There has been no right-wing Roe v. Wade riots. There's no right-wing Antifa.
Yep.
You had a Supreme Court justice almost be assassinated because of the Roe v. Wade riots. The current president of the United States was almost assassinated when he was running as a candidate.
Yep.
Twice. Not just once, but twice, probably more than that. That's what we know. That's what we know. And we know for sure at least one of them, again, inspired by extremist rhetoric of the Democrat Party, specifically around Ukraine. We know that for a fact. There's no right-wing version of the pro-Palestinian riots that have been happening in this country.
Yep.
The No Kings riots.
Yep.
You're not seeing that from the right.
You don't see it from the right. You don't.
And yeah, I know these people will bring up, they'll say, well, look what happened in Minnesota. Look what happened to those Democrats. Did anybody on the right celebrate that? Did anybody on the right celebrate what happened to those Democrats? I don't remember anybody trying to justify and say, well, they had different opinions than me. They believed in hate and bigotry. They pushed policies that we thought were harmful, so therefore, hey. Nobody on the right did that.
Yeah, no one ever did that. I don't entirely celebrate the death of my enemies. Like I know that this is coming from somewhere. Like I had I certainly would not be celebrating the death of a Democrat, even if they're this far woke. I'm not doing that. What I am simply doing is righteously serve justice to Charlie Kirk, his family, and the innocent Americans who keep dying under these terrible ideological woke ideas and views because of this.
I didn't see one conservative commentator say anything even close to that or celebrate what happened to those Democrats. And we really don't even know if that guy was a Trump supporter. He claims that he did it because Tim Walz told him to do it. So placing the blame on Trump and Trump supporters or MAGA ideology when we don't even have evidence that that was a part of that at all, it's just silly. And it's desperation to deflect from what clearly is a problem in this country that these people, the liberal media and Democrats, refuse to address. The left side of they become way too radicalized.
Yep.
We have data showing. I mean, Charlie Kirk went over this. That's the crazy part. We have actual data showing that almost half of these individuals think that assassinations are okay.
Yep.
They think it will be justified because they believe that they're good people.
No, they're not.
That they're the good guys. Except the reality is that they're actually the people that they claim are the bad guys. If you're celebrating this, you are the bad guy. You're not the good guy in this story. You're not. But
they are the Joker to our Batman. We are Batman, and these woke weirdos who are celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk, they're the Joker, who is humorously laughing at the death of Charlie Kirk. I cannot tell you how... honestly, I think God needs to come down here and smite these people. Like the 10 plagues, smite the firstborn. And heck, if Jonah did not deliver God's message of mercy and compassion to the Ninevites, Nineveh would have been destroyed. I think that is what should happen to these people. We're at past the point where God needs to punish these people. This is the very moment where God's chosen people, the Israelites, are being targeted. His followers are being targeted. These people, they have no sense of morality, Christian morality, or understand that through God, there is right and wrong. What the left are doing is not only wrong, it is just pure, unadulterated evil.
The problem is that Democrats have allowed these people to think that they're the good guys, to think that their actions are justified. And they've done that by going along with this hyperbolic rhetoric because they can't win in the battle of ideas claiming Trump is Hitler.
Yep.
His supporters are Nazis, fascists.
Yep.
How long before I see results?
Yep, exactly. Exactly. Plain and simple. And I gotta tell you guys, this moment, this assassination is the cause of an avalanche that is gonna knock the dominoes over, and the Democrats are so fucking screwed.
And this is how we get to this situation. With that type of political rhetoric that Democrats trafficked in during the election, and they still traffic in it now. And at some point, we're going to have to acknowledge that this is a problem. This has to be a real thing that is acknowledged in this country, that left-wing extremism is out of control. These people are not the good guy. You're not the good guy if you're celebrating this. You are not. You are the bad guy. So this is where we're at. Again, maybe later today, I'll do a more direct video about the leftists and what they're saying. It's one of those things I'm really on the fence about it because I don't want to participate in spreading that type of hatred.
I honestly do not care, and if I do, because I am just going to, when he gets to that kind of video where he sees what the Democrats are saying, I am going to unleash full hell on those people. I am not afraid to speak out against this. I don't even care if YouTube punishes me. I don't care if I get punished for what I say. I will mean it. I did not even get to sleep until 6 a.m. because of this. Since Charlie's assassination, I could not get to sleep till 6 a.m. I have been on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and all on Facebook. All I have done is anytime I come by, whether someone was laughing that Charlie died, or someone saying the most stupid argument that they could ever think of, I called them out. I called them out on their fucking bullshit. Until this very day, this is going to be the trend for a while. I'm not sure how I'm going to get over it because I have to probably keep my mouth shut, especially when I'm at work, because it is not going to be easy for me to keep my mouth shut. I honestly probably need to super glue my mouth shut.
On my platform, the crazy stuff that these people are saying. But also part of me kind of feels like, these people, again, the world has to see it because they have to understand what we're dealing with here. That this ideology is out of control. And ultimately, in the day, what happens, or what hopefully will happen, is that decent, normal, sane people will see it and they say, I can't get in bed with that. I can't support that. I don't want my country to end up like that. I may agree with them on some things. But as long as they're like that, I can't support it. I gotta support the other side.
It doesn't even matter if at this point the far woke left that would ever in that scenario, they would be called a MAGA, they would be called fascist, they would be called Hitler. It wouldn't even matter if if any kind of moderate Democrat or any other sane individual that even agrees with the left, they would not even last. They would be called everything the far left has called us. Fascist, Nazi, terrorist, dictator, totalitarian. It would not even matter.
Because at least the other side is not like that. They don't want to tear the country apart. They don't want to be out here normalizing assassinations, killing folks over simple political disagreements. I'm hoping that is the outcome from all this, that sane people realize what we're dealing with. That the people that think they're the good guys, right? That they're all moral and righteous in what they do, and that
they're not morally righteous. Their social justices are advocating for things that should never been afforded to them. I do not fucking care about gay social justices. I don't even care about trans social justices. These woke weirdos should never have been given these rights, whatever the rights are. I can't name a single right that is afforded to me that is not afforded to them, but I do not fucking give a living shit.
Just defending the oppressed, these are not the good guys. And I'm hoping that the reactions from these individuals that we're seeing on the internet is showing people who are in the middle, who are on the fence, who are center left, that you are in bed with extremists. And if we all don't come together and realize what's happening with these people, our country is headed towards a dark place. We have to reject this. We have to reject the left-wing extremism that is becoming way too much of a problem in this country. Again, the United Healthcare CEO should have been a warning sign. And I saw it at the time, and I will continue to talk about it because that was the moment. That was the moment where I knew, I was like, these people openly celebrating this. This guy is a family man. He's a father. He's a CEO of a company. He did not deserve to lose his life, but these people were celebrating it because they really believe. They really believe deep down that they're the good guys and that anything justifies them getting what they want. And that is dangerous. That is really, really, really dangerous. And
they are dangerous. They are the Nazi Hitlers they've accused us of. They are the fascists. They are Nazi Hitler. They are the very party that they accused conservatives of. And I'm not taking this lightly. This is objectively true. So anyone who disagrees in my comments, prove me wrong. Tell me how I'm wrong for even comparing them to Hitler, to the Nazis. That is literally what they are. They hold us emotionally hostage, and when we get out of line, that is when they do horrible shit. I cannot tell you how much more infuriating it is that this is exactly what's happening. If we speak out, we lose our lives because they cannot stand it. They do not want to accept the truth. They hate the truth. They do not want it.
And again, center left, moderate, sane people have to come together and realize Trump is not the biggest threat. That's not the biggest threat to this country. It's these people who are so radicalized that they've now said it gloves off. It's okay to do whatever to get what we want. So,
yeah, yeah, Trump is not the biggest threat. But as soon as he's no longer in office, what are the Democrats going to do? They can't use Trump derangement syndrome, attacking points, talking points. They won't even be able to know how to respond when it comes to the next president, which I hope is J.D. Vance or Ron DeSantis. I don't care. As long as one of those two, as long as it's not a Democrat. Heck, if a Democrat chooses to run in office next election, and it's the most sane person ever, I might vote for that guy. But it's never likely to happen. The woke far left is so radicalized, they have no decent sense of common sense. They have no basic morality. They have nothing. Honestly, the cowards, the pathetic cowards these people are. I cannot tell you how emotionally disturbing these people are. Honestly, the left should be classified as the most delusional group of people. That it should be classified as a mental disorder. I don't even know how to properly call it, but the left, this day of age, these crazy woke weirdos that have allowed this to go on, should be classified as a classified disorder, mental disorder. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think. I will still keep you guys posted on what I find, what I see, and until something pops up, I'm going to probably be silent for probably the next day or two until we actually see the results that the law enforcement, the authorities find out. So, thank you guys for watching. Our best prayers goes to Charlie Kirk's family. We pray that you guys thrive and hopefully you guys make it through this. See you guys later.